Coming to you live from the fabulous MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a St. Clair College journalism presentation.
Good evening, I'm Sean Preble.
And I'm Marauder Zinchleoglu, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now. Volunteers are a key part of many organizations, especially nonprofits. Stacy Janzer has the story.
I've been a Red Cross volunteer for 20 years now.
Robin Bondi has been working as a volunteer for the Red Cross in the Disaster Management Program.
Gives me a way to get that feel-good feeling that you do when you can help somebody who really needs the help.
National Volunteer Week is a chance for places like the Red Cross to thank all of their volunteer workers. Donna Gerard, Disaster Management Advisor at the Red Cross, did just that.
We had a volunteer appreciation night where we had all our volunteers come forward to an event. We recognized them with certificates of appreciation.
Bondi received the national award called the Order of the Red Cross.
It's given to volunteers who have been serving for at least 10 years, and they've made a significant contribution to the program that you're serving in.
Bondi remains humble about receiving the award, but she has done her fair share of hard work while in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina.
The people that were evacuated from the area, still coming into Alexandria, they were exhausted. They'd been in the cars for hours and hours and hours, and it was remarkable to see what the people could do for themselves.
The Red Cross continues to seek out volunteers for their programs.
Whereas Red Cross is always looking for volunteers and across all our programs. Disaster management for sure, we're looking for volunteers up at the front to answer phones. So depending on their skill and their interest, we're open to volunteers.
According to Volunteer Canada, over 13 million Canadians actively participate. The organization says the dedications Canadians show to our communities gives us the caring reputation seen around the world. So help out or call the volunteer hotline and give your thanks to a volunteer. For MediaPlex News, I'm Stacy Janzer.
Now let's take a look down at University of Victoria, where Shelby Hernandez will give us a look at our early weather. Shelby?
Well, all I can say is I'm glad I didn't listen to anybody who told me to pack up my winter gear. We had a wonderful spring weekend, but it looks like spring is being put on hold. Although we won't have any more snow tonight, it is currently 0 degrees. So if you plan to be outside, consider unpacking your winter gear. I'll be back later on to give you the full 3-day forecast. Back to you guys.
Liam Higgins had a special guest in the studio for this edition of 5 Minutes With.
I'm Liam Higgins, and today we're spending 5 minutes with community developer of Windsor-Essex County's Community Drug Strategy Program, Joel Ferlot. Could you give us a brief overview about what the Drug Strategy Program is?
Sure. So basically about 6 years ago, what had happened was the community came together as a group and identified that there were a lot of things being done for drugs and alcohol in the community, but they were being done individually or what we call in silos. So what they wanted to do was they brought everybody together. They had 2 different forums, and they had some conversation about basically, the biggest issues that were happening at the time, what was being done as individual groups, and basically came up with the need to work together as a community. So basically formed a collaborative with all the different agencies and groups that were already doing things together, and really put their heads together and put a plan together and focused on some of the biggest issues. And that's kind of where this came about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are the specific programs within the drug strategy that are provided?
So currently right now we're working off the Canadian Anti-Drug Strategy Framework, which is based on a 4-pillar approach. And we have prevention, treatment, harm reduction, and enforcement. So those are the 4 pillars that we base all our work on. So in prevention specifically, we kind of help out one of the groups that are already doing great work as it is in the community. For Girls Talk is the actual program name. So that it basically is a group for girls 13 to 16 and sometimes 18, and they deal with all types of coping issues based on stress, stigma. We also have a prevention working group, which is just about a year old now, and we're getting actually some of the root causes of the problems specific to prevention, and we're focusing on primary prevention. So really engaging people before they even use. We find it much easier to work with people before they use as opposed to treating them further down the line. We also have treatment. So we're playing a supportive role with an existing group in the community, the providers of addiction treatment. They meet once a month, and basically what that is, it's members from all the different treatment facilities in our area and a few of the partners that are doing some indirect services. And we're really meeting, we're networking, we're sharing some ideas, we're working on some issues that most likely we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. Our harm reduction group now is probably the group that's doing the most work and probably the most recognizable in our community right now. They actually have, once a month they do Living Safer at the downtown mission here, and it's basically meeting people where they are. So we don't expect persons to quit. That's basically based on the whole harm reduction philosophy in itself. So we're really meeting people where they are, and just as the name says, helping them live safer, whether it be giving them information. We have some people there that they can speak with every month. We give handouts, condoms. We encourage that they go visit for persons that are using needles. We encourage them to go to the needle exchange program at the AIDS Community of Windsor and all the other partners such like that. We also have probably one of the biggest groups that are moving forward right now is our peer outreach support team. So these are persons typically with lived experience in the community, whether it be alcohol or drug related, and they're further down the road in their recovery, and they're reaching out to persons who are actively using now. So whether it be, just as it says, as a mentor, to provide them just with someone to speak with, going on an appointment with them. They're making referrals to other agencies. They're doing all kinds of great work in the community.
Okay. Is there any way people looking to be involved have the ability to do that?
Sure. They could probably, the first place to start would be just to contact myself, and we can have an initial conversation, and based on what they're interested in, we can certainly connect them with any of the groups that we have, whether it be the providers of addiction treatment, our harm reduction network, or our prevention group. There's all types of things that we can do. Certainly no shortage of work to be done with us.
Okay. And how do you think Windsorites can benefit from drug strategy?
Well, one of the unique things that our drug strategy is, it's an unbiased approach. So we're not representing any one agency. So we kind of come together as a group. We discuss all the issues, the shortfallings and whatnot, and we can really work together to make sure that everybody is treated and fairly represented in our community.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joel, for spending time with us. I'm Liam Higgins, and we've just spent 5 minutes with community developer of Windsor-Essex County's Community Drug Strategy Program, Joel Ferlot.
Now let's head over to Adam Elbaba, where he will introduce today's live musical guest. Adam?
Thanks, Sean. I'm here with Dave Russell, singer-songwriter from Windsor-Essex. He's been playing music for over 6 years now, and recently released his second studio album, Deep Talk in Shallow Water. Dave, tell us about your recent album.
I recorded it with my band, The Precious Stones, over like a year period, and just a collection of folk tunes that I put a band behind, and yeah, it's finally out.
So what does music really mean to you?
Personally, it gets me out of bed in the morning. It's a soundtrack of my day, and it's just an important part of our society.
And what's next for Dave Russell?
Touring with the band this summer out in Western Canada, and hopefully another CD later this year.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Now, you're here to perform Give and Take, so check it out in stores, Deep Talk in Shallow Water. But until then, here's Dave Russell with Give and Take.
When you're giving, everybody just takes. Do you learn your lesson or make the same mistakes? When the good in you compels you to reach out, do you act without thinking, or do you have your doubts? Your doubts, you are see-through and cannot argue to save your pride, and truth hurts your hide. You are see-through, cannot argue to save your pride, and truth hurts your hide. One thing I can't take is from going under. much more can we take? How long before we discover? Oh, when you're giving, and everybody just takes, do you learn your lesson or make the same mistakes? When the good in you compels it to reach out, do you act without thinking, or do you have your doubts, your doubts, your doubts? You all see through and cannot argue to save your pride and truth hurts your hide. You all see through, cannot argue to save your pride and truth hurts your heart. Yeah. Your heart, yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Windsor's waterfront has always been beautiful, and there are plans to make it even more so. Here's some more information about a new festival coming this fall. Windsor's Riverfront Sculpture Garden will be brought to life this September with the debut of Waves Festival. Headed up by the City of Windsor Parks and Rec Department, the festival will host a variety of culturally based projects based around sculptures and locations in the park. With a total budget of $100,000, the city is currently seeking applications for creative talents of any ilk for funding grants up to $4,000. The deadline for submissions is April 30th. The festival will run on September 26th and 27th, with an estimated 25 projects spread across the riverfront from Ambassador Bridge to the Art Gallery of Windsor. Respected musician and educator Brent Lee has already been tapped for the event's closing. For more information, adjust your web browser to citywindsor.ca. For MediaPlex News, I'm Radar Zinchlioglu.
Country music is this theme of this edition of 5 Minutes With. Jolene Perrin hosts.
Hello, today we are spending 5 minutes with Mike Ewer. Mike Ewer is a local country singer and artist who hails from Harrow. So Mike, when did you start getting involved in country music?
Country music for me is kind of always growing up at my parents' store, U.S. Country Kitchen in Harrow. I was always playing on the radio. Kind of grew up living it pretty much, and I started playing guitar in high school, and from there just kind of blossomed, kind of blew up after that. So.
Now I understand you started out as a solo artist, and now you've kind of grown into a band, and everything's really snowballing for you guys now. Can you compare and contrast the difference between solo and being a band?
Yeah. Going back to the roots, like playing just me and acoustic, like back to the bars, back in wherever I played, I could play wherever I could play. Now we got a full band. It's different, but I love it. I mean, I get to play with my three best friends, so it's amazing. I love playing with the band. There's a lot more energy and a lot more feel to it, so I love it a lot.
Now, what started you in the band?
Actually, back in December 2012, Tyler Ward, the YouTube star, he held this competition to open for him in Toronto. And I entered this competition not really expecting much, and then as the rounds went on, I ended up getting to the final round and I won the thing. So I worked with Alex Segan, Dean Mayo, and Aiden Johnson-Bujold before in the studio at his house, and I called them up. I needed a band for the show, and they came along with me in Toronto, and since then the Mike Ewer Band was formed, and we've been playing this past year. It's been crazy, so.
That's fantastic. Now I understand you guys went to Nashville, and you guys are playing a lot very locally. Now can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we recorded in Nashville in November last year. We met with the producer, Dean Miller, and we sent him a couple demos. We sent him the song I'm going to play today, and he loved the demo. It's just an acoustic kind of cut of it, and he loved it, and it kind of for us became real that we could actually go record in Nashville. And so we went down for 5 days. We checked out Nashville, checked out the town, And we're in the studio for 2 days recording, and we met with the musicians, and just to see that process, how an acoustic song goes to a fully produced song was really cool.
So what's next for the Mike Ure Band? You guys are heading out. I understand you're going to have a tour soon.
Yeah, we're going to be planning a tour this summer across Ontario. We got a bunch of shows booked already, and pretty much we're going to revamp our set list and include a lot more original material into it. We're sitting on a lot of original songs right now that we haven't released, and we've been writing a lot, and just kind of waiting for the right moment to release. And I think this summer it's going to be big for us.
Now I know you guys just came out with a new single. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, me and Alex Ian, he's the bass player of my band. He started writing this chorus, and it's kind of had this runaway feel. Me and this girl just get out of this town, and this kind of naive, kind of young love that just get out. All we need is each other. And he sent this chorus over to me, and I'm like, dude, we got something here. It sounded really, really good. So I wrote a few verses to it, and we put it all together, and it came together like it was awesome. So.
Great. Would you mind playing a little bit for us today?
Yeah, definitely. This is Shake This Town.
Standing at the bar, whiskey on your lips, I get a little taste with every kiss. You take my hand and pull me out on the floor, say I wanna get to know you just a little more. So we hop in my truck, go for a drive down by the creek in that moonlight. We sit on my hood and stare at the stars. You're running away with my heart, so let's shake, shake, shake this town. We ain't looking back, and we don't know how far we'll get. So ready, get set. It's gonna be a night that we'll never forget. Shake, shake, shake those hips. Run my fingers through your hair as you bite my lip. Get out of here, like it down. Baby, gonna shake this town. Like a autumn leaf falling from the sky into my arms, I can't believe my eyes. Every smile takes away the pain, washing away like a summer rain. Shake, shake, shake this town. We ain't looking back, and we don't know how far we'll get. So ready, get set. It's gonna be a night that we'll never forget. Shake, shake, shake those hips. Run my fingers through your hair as you bite my lip. Get out of here, like it down. You and me, baby, gonna shake this town. You wrote your number on my hand, and I can't call it again and again. Shake, shake, shake this town. We ain't looking back, and we don't know how far we'll get. So ready, get set. It's gonna be a night that we'll never forget. Shake, shake, shake those hips. Run my fingers through your hair as you bite my lip. Get out of here, like it down. You and me, baby, gonna shake, shake, shake this town. Oh, shake this town. Girl, shut it down. You and me, girl, we'll shake this town.
Let's head back outside where Shelby Hernandez will fill us in on what we can expect over the next few days. Shelby?
Did you know the record high in April was set in 1990? It was 31.1 degrees Celsius on April 25th. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely hoping for that kind of weather this weekend. But that's probably not going to happen. Tomorrow will be mainly sunny with a high of 4 degrees Celsius and a low of 2. For Thursday, you can expect it to be partly cloudy with a high of 14 and a low of 2. And for Friday, make sure to pack an umbrella because there will be rain showers as well as a high of 14 and a low of 6. That's all for your 3-day forecast. I'm Shelby Hernandez. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Shelby. As April is National Poetry Month, we are celebrating it with a special guest who is standing by with Adam Elbaba. Adam?
Thanks, Sean. I'm here with Vanessa Shields. She's been writing pretty much since she could walk and had her first poem published back in high school. Now, 20 years later, she's here to tell us about her recent work. Vanessa, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about your recent book, I Am That Woman.
So this is my first book of poetry, and it's published by Black Moss Press. We launched the book in late January. And what it is, it's a conversation I'm having with my readers about my life, my children, and my family. Hi, guys. They're watching. And, you know, it's raw and it's honest, and it's getting really great reviews by those who are reading it. They really feel like they can relate to it.
And tell us about your plans to be noticed by Jean Ghomeshi.
Well, I really enjoy Jean Ghomeshi's radio show, Q, and I would really love to have a conversation with him about poetry, my poetry, and just have a good chat with him. I feel like there's space for more poetry in the world, and he would be a great platform for us to celebrate my book and just talk about poetry. So I hope that he notices me.
Fantastic. Well, I thank you for your time. Can we hear some of your work?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, take it away.
Thanks. Duct cleaner man. In mid-stanza, the phone rings, the landline, connecting me to cleaners, bankers, fundraisers, occasional family members. Usually I can gauge the silence. Hello? 1 second, 2 seconds. Hang up. But I'm caught in a poetry zone and I don't count, and 3 seconds. Hello, ma'am. I'm calling from something duct cleaners. How are you? And chipper, chapper, chopper. I'm good. Lies. I'm not writing, and we have a something special one-time deal. He chippers onward. My ducks are filthy. Baby maples bursting through summer mud mulch. No, thank you. I stare at the cordless receiver before I hang up. Is he at his house? It was noisy behind his voice. Does he have a mustache? He's just trying to make a buck. He needs the phone. I should avoid it. He can't see me lying on my bed in my underwear and tank top caressing a poem. He caught me cleaning out my ducks, splitting maple trees into songs. Thank you.
Thanks, Vanessa. This weekend's Run for Rocky was a huge success, and Clara Muska reports it's all for a good cause.
Windsor Pride is busy preparing for a major fundraiser. It is the second annual Run for Rocky to raise money for Gay Straight Alliance programs in local schools.
Our first year we raised over $68,000, and that was way above our goal, and our number of registrations coming in for participants this weekend is phenomenal.
The money being raised can be accessed by Windsor Essex High School District to continue the programs.
Education is a big part of the program. So part of the grants that schools can apply for are to create safe schools, are to bring in educators or speakers in regards to anti-bullying.
Hannah Rose says there was a lot of bullying going on in her high school.
I know a lot of my friends who were bullied, it just crumbled them. It did not, they weren't able to stand up for themselves.
Bob Williams thinks that the anti-bullying campaigns are getting better and that this fundraiser will help continue the education.
This past year we brought in R.J. Mitty, who was from Breaking Bad, and then that was in cooperation with them, and that was dealing with the bullying program. But it also brings a large awareness to the community.
Williams is pleased about some recent political changes.
I think President Obama and things on the American side are changing, but Canada is leading the world in many ways. So.
The Run for Rocky race will be this Sunday at Dieppe Park. There will be an after party at the St. Clair Centre for the Arts. For MediaPlex News, I'm Claire Muska.
Alice Hewitt sat down with author Mike Medler to talk about his award-winning book, Concerning God.
I'm Alice Hewitt, and today we're spending 5 minutes with author Mike Medler. Tell me a little bit about what your book involves.
Sure. The book is, I guess, it's an attempt to answer the question, or to deal with the question of where the truth of God can be found with all the religions in the world. And that's kind of a daunting question for people. And it was for me, when I was first challenged to examine Christianity. I just thought to myself, what about all the other religions of the world? Am I going to have to, research them all to know which one is true? And then I just began to think about that a bit, and I realized, the world's full of just ordinary people, so if God created humanity, then knowing our purpose and understanding what the truth is can't require, a degree in world religions. It's got to be something that's accessible to each one of us. The Bible says that God's not far from any one of us, and so I really began to see that made sense to believe that. So this book is really what I kind of regard as a common sense approach to, determining, which if any of the world's religions are true, and how could we identify a true revelation from God versus a false revelation from God. And so the book kind of talks about signposts or indicators which we could expect to find or expect to be associated with the truth. And then the last part of the book presents the case for Christianity in light of those signposts to say, to demonstrate how strong a case the Christian faith makes really on that kind of common sense line of reasoning.
Windsor has a new comic book emporium in town. Liam Higgins has the story.
Members of Glass Monkey Studios held their grand opening for their local comic book studio this past weekend. Local comic book artists and writers Tony Gray and Mike Michalski opened the Glass Monkey Menagerie this past Friday at Gray's studio located at 1378 Ottawa Street. The event that took place over the course of the entire day included not only the work of the two local artists and their collections developed over consecutive decades, but the collection of a deceased friend who recently passed away. Gray and Michalski's collection included a variety of videos, action figures, records, memorabilia, and the two writers' own personal comic book series published and written at Glass Monkey Studios. Gray says the main goal Glass Monkey wishes to achieve is promoting literacy to young kids.
And what we're trying to do with this is get comics back in the hands of kids, and we're doing this by bypassing the standard distribution chain.
Michalski said for Gray and himself, it was difficult to part with their collections that they've developed, but they were glad to say that they'd find dedicated comic book enthusiasts to enjoy what they've spent years building up.
It's tremendously difficult, and that's kind of the position that Tony and I are in, that we've amassed such a collection. We have so many varied interests and things like that, that this store is an offshoot of our, I should say, a means through which we can, disperse some of our collections to what we call forever homes, just like the Humane Society.
The event was successful on its grand opening, selling almost its entire stock. While the studio was scheduled to be open to sell its comics and other memorabilia the following day, Gray and Michalski had to close the shop to restock from the successful night before. Glass Monkey Menagerie is open every Friday and Saturday from noon to 6 p.m. I'm Liam Higgins, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Murad Zinchlioglu.
And I'm Sean Preble, and this has been MediaPlex News Now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.